We are joined now by Bryan Sexton. He's the sports director at the CBS affiliate WTEV-47 in Jacksonville, and also the play-by-play announcer for the Jaguars. Bryan, what is the latest? What can you tell us?
Well, at this point, no one is releasing any information on his condition in Shands Hospital. In fact, we're told that family members are keeping their finger on the pulse of this thing. So we're still waiting. I've seen a piece of video of his truck being lifted up and off the ground, and the driver's side window is shot out. So, it's logical to assume that if he was shot through the window, that the injuries are above the waist, but we do not know the exact nature of those at this point, so that's only speculation.
The Associated Press reports right now are saying critical condition in that hospital. Obviously, right now, the police are saying there's no motive for the shooting. On the field, Bryan, what can you tell us about Collier's role with the Jaguars?
Well, the Jaguars had hoped that he would come in and compete for the starting left tackle job this year. My broadcast partner on the radio is former Jets and Jaguars defensive end Jeff Lageman. And for 3 years, Lageman has watched Richard Collier and has compared his feet to Tony Boselli, which is very high praise for a young man undrafted out of Valdosta State. I mean, this is a tremendous physical specimen. The Jaguars had really high hopes that he would be able to come in and compete with Khalif Barnes and be the long-term solution at left tackle. The problem is he's not been able to control his weight. He came here 3 years ago at 365 pounds, maybe a tad heavier than that, and really hasn't been able to get much lower than 350. And it's tough to play an entire football season at that position at 350, 55 pounds. And if he had lost the weight that they had set for him, they really felt like this was going to be a real find, a diamond in the rough at left tackle.
Bryan, you've been covering this team for many years, and I have to ask you, because this is just the latest in a string of many off-the-field incidents for this team. Wide receiver Matt Jones charged with cocaine possession earlier this summer, and then Fred Taylor, the running back, just charged with disorderly conduct over the weekend. Now this shooting. What kind of effect is this having on the Jags right now?
Well, it's funny. Yesterday, Fred Taylor spoke to the team. Jack Del Rio had him get up in front of the team meeting and explain the perils of being out too late, which is obviously the case with Richard Collier, and not using your head. As Fred explained when he got into verbal altercation, he said a couple things he shouldn't, and it escalated. So just yesterday, Richard heard Fred Taylor stand up in front of the meeting room and explain what had happened in South Beach, and you would think that a young man would get that through his head. Obviously, he did not. Yeah, all of a sudden now it appears that you've got a lawless situation down here in Jacksonville. And as is the case probably with every team in the league, you've got some guys, they're out, they're targets in many cases. Sometimes they put it on themselves. But the vast majority of this locker room are guys that go home at night, have wives and kids. And so unfortunately, the organization is going to be portrayed in a negative light, which you just simply can't avoid. Although, we don't know whether Collier was provoked, in a club and it carried out of there. We just don't have enough facts. It's just, on face value, it doesn't look real good for an organization in a small market like Jacksonville now, Sage. You can't take away from the fact that this is a small town. It's not like New York where there are other distractions. It's going to be the talking point this week around here, instead of getting focused on a season opener for a season in which the Jaguars have high hopes.
Yeah, meantime, absolutely, the games go on, and the Jags open their season 5 days from now against the Tennessee Titans. Thank you very much, Bryan Sexton, the sports director at the CBS affiliate in Jacksonville, with the latest on the shooting of offensive tackle Richard Collier. Again, he's a third-year player out of Valdosta State, shot multiple times very early this morning in Jacksonville. He's hospitalized, reportedly in critical condition as we speak, and of course we will bring you the very latest news and information as it becomes available.